Hi guys, this is Maya with WXOU. I'm joined by the lovely Arianna from Oakland Post.
You gotta give me my title, Maya.
I'm sorry.
Editor-in-chief.
Editor-in-chief. Okay. I'm clapping again. Clap.
I shouldn't have talked.
Okay. Hi guys, this is Maya with WXOU. I'm joined by the lovely editor-in-chief of Oakland Post, Arianna. How are you today,
Hi,
Arianna?
Maya. I'm nervous.
Don't be.
Very, I'm not used to being asked questions, so this is a new experience for me.
Well, welcome to our studio.
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so
you guys
glad.
have the nicest, coolest studio.
I'm glad you think so.
It's decorated so lovely.
just CDs. CDs are nice. Music is cool. Hooray, music. Okay. Okay. So we're doing an interview just to help promote the Post and all what you guys do. So tell me a little about what the Post is on campus.
Okay, so the Post is Oakland University's independent student newspaper.
Okay.
We've been independent since 1987. We have a long storied history. The Post has been in operation since 1959, but we didn't become truly independent until 1987. And we, operate to cover campus events, important people, anything to do with Oakland University.
Wow, that's awesome. So do you guys publish weekly?
Yes, we publish every Wednesday. If there's a breaking news story, though, we do like to get that up as soon as possible, but we are always doing our best to keep people informed of the latest news on campus.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And so do you have any issues that we should really be aware of in the near future?
I mean, there's always issues. I think if anybody's engaged with the news, we have... there's so many things I could talk about. I could talk about the election upcoming next year. We could talk about Michigan politics, local, statewide, national. There's always something to be informed on, and there's always something that people can be learning about. I would say for Oakland University, the faculty is starting their contract renegotiations during the winter semester. So that's probably the biggest upcoming story and something that people should keep their eye out for, because that's that will affect everybody on campus depending on how those negotiations go. So I would say, stay tuned for stories on that.
Oh, for sure. All right. And what would you describe how life is like working at the Post, being editor-in-chief? Like,
it's different every week, just depending on what we have going on. Some weeks it's busier than others. We sort of operate as a pyramid a little bit. Reporters are doing our most important work, and then it sort of goes up the chain. Editors will edit them. The busyness level is so dependent on what's going on campus. Some weeks I'm writing multiple articles, some weeks I'm not writing. I do a letter from the editor, but I try and stay a bit more conservative with that because I know my opinion holds some weight. So I try not to veer into too many issues because I don't want the Post to seem, I want us to stay as objective as possible.
Yeah, for sure.
So just depending on what's going on, it's a very long answer for a very simple question. But it depends week to week how busy I am.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So are you guys still looking for writers right now?
Yes. We're always looking for writers. We're really have been trying to get more campus reporters. Campus is a very important section in our paper.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
They cover campus events. So we always need more of them. And, if you want to get involved, please email editor@oaklandpostonline.com with a copy of your resume, and we will get back to you.
You definitely answered my next question, which I think is great.
Which was
how would you get in contact with the Post?
editor@oaklandpostonline.com.
I'm going to put it right there.
I feel like this is like a YouTuber.
Yeah,
I know.
that
was link in the description below.
Link in bio. Make sure to follow, comment, and
subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Okay. Okay. So why is the Post, like, what is different about working for the Post, and how is it, like, different than, say, working, like, at another campus job, would you say?
Oh man, the Post gives people such a unique opportunity to connect with people on campus that they might not get a chance to connect with on a day-to-day. So, you know, I've spoken to so many interesting people on campus, people that are in the medical school, people in the engineering, who are engineering majors. I mean, just, I would never have come into contact with them otherwise. And it's really so, and you also get a lot of unique experiences in that you get to go to different events on campus. Yeah. You get to meet, I met, you know, various political candidates. I was there for the debate between Governor Whitmer and Tudor Dixon.
Oh, yeah.
That was quite the evening.
Yeah, I heard that. That was very interesting.
It was very interesting. I was here for the debate between Haley Stevens and Andy Levin. That was pretty contentious. And, you know, and I got to speak with both of them. And you wouldn't get opportunities like that really in many other organizations on campus. And you're just exposed to so many different facets of university life here. And you get to meet and connect with so many people. And it's a great networking opportunity. And I highly recommend, if anyone is looking to expand their wheelhouse or just want to get involved with any sort of writing opportunity, like, please, you know, come work for the Post. It's great.
I think that it's a very unique opportunity, as you said, and I know that a lot of people are looking for that kind of, like, strict reporting and, like, open to new experiences, and I find that really, really cool.
Yeah, the thing is, too, we do have a contributor program, which I would love for more people to find out about. If you want something published, if you're a writer on campus and you want your work to get out there, you can submit your pieces to us and we will publish them. So, you know, anyone can do it. You don't have to be a journalism major. If you have an opinion about something or any issue, or you just wrote something for class and you think you know, you'd like people to see it and have eyes on it, you can send it to us and we will put it up on our website.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you said that the Post is objective, so I'm assuming that there's no political leanings and you're not for that kind of opinionated article in that way?
No, again, for the contributors, if someone has a political opinion, we'll publish it. We don't discriminate on you know, we want to stay as objective as possible. We added a politics section this year.
Interesting.
But our reporters are told, you know, write about these issues fairly, make sure you know, you're covering both sides of every issue, and don't try your best to not lean one way or another.
Yeah. No, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that a lot.
I mean, I think that's a criticism with journalism, you know, these days by a lot of people, is they say it's not objective.
They say it's not objective, but it's definitely very biased and very political leaning, and that's an issue.
Right, and I agree with that. And I
too.
think, you know, every editor has their own vision for how they see the Post moving forward, and my particular vision is just to keep us as objective as possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. And so once you leave the Post, do you have any aspirations for once you graduate?
Oh, man. I have not picked a particular route. I know I want to stay within journalism.
Okay.
It's just where, like, I would be fine with writing for a paper. I would be fine with being a broadcast reporter, being a news producer. I would really take anything just as long as it's in the industry.
As long as it's in journalism.
Yeah, I guess the aspiration is just to stay within the journalism field, but what position that is, I don't know yet.
And so you don't have, like, a preference yet or anything? Like, ultimately, you don't have, like, a dream, even though it might be unrealistic to you?
Right now, I'm leaning toward news producing. I think it's because, especially since starting the editor job, I really like having, oh God, this is going to sound like the control aspect.
That's so fair, though.
Yeah.
That's so fair.
Of what stories kind of get covered and what we publish and what direction we go in. I really like that idea and that aspect of it. So I think being a news producer and getting to kind of decide on stories would be
that's awesome.
is more attractive as the weeks go by.
That's so fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so real. That's so fair. Okay, and so because you're wanting to pursue journalism, fun question for you.
Yeah.
If you were to interview anybody in history, who would you interview?
I think it would have to be Paul McCartney. I'm a huge Beatles fan, and I don't know if he'd be. I know a lot of people when they're asked, they say like Queen Elizabeth when she was alive, she knew everybody, or like what maybe President Obama or someone of like that political nature. But I'm such a Beatles fan, and I have just so many questions for him about.
So, because you're a Beatles fan, I have to ask, what do you think about Now and Then?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me my favorite Beatles song, and I got scared because that's a very hard question.
No, that is a really hard question.
Now and Then, I like it. I think it's a very good song. I think the cooler part of it is how it came together.
Yeah.
The fact that it was so many years to produce this song is like the coolest part of the whole thing, and just the fact that the Beatles are releasing music in 2023.
It's so sick.
I listened to that song on my whole drive to school, like just
on loop. Yeah,
on loop. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I'm listening to the Beatles. Like, I can't believe it. Like, new stuff from the Beatles. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like, what other group has, like, music being released?
Yeah, that's, like, so far after the fact.
Yeah.
So, I read something that I thought was interesting. The irony of Yoko Ono bringing the Beatles back together.
Yeah. I think she got a bad rap. I don't think
too.
she broke up the Beatles. I think John Lennon wanted to get out of the group, and he was
looking for a way out.
He was looking for a way out, and she kind of like, that's what happens. Like, I think she just took the heat of it, and it's not fair.
Did. That's really not fair.
I don't think
I don't love her, but I don't think that she deserves all the hate that she's
I don't think
getting.
she should have been like hanging out necessarily in the studio with them and like, that was their time to make music, but I don't think she broke the group up.
Yeah, I think she was also trying to self-insert a little bit too. I
agree.
And I have an issue with that, but it's very like the radio station to be talking about the Beatles during an interview. I think that's so funny. I love it.
I can talk about the Beatles for forever.
I was told yesterday by one of my professors that he did not like the Beatles, and I was sitting there and I was like,
oh my God.
He also told me he didn't like the Smiths, but I was like, that's kind of fair.
Okay, but the Beatles is...
But the
I
Beatles
don't
are
trust
the Beatles.
people that don't like the Beatles. I really don't. It's like a major red flag for me.
I think that people who don't like the Beatles are trying to be different. And I'm so... They're just saying that they don't like it because everybody else likes it. And I'm being so real on
I
that.
agree. And I also think those people are like, oh, I prefer the Rolling Stones. And I'm like, no, you're just saying this so you can... like to be different. Like you're just trying to have a controversial opinion.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be controversial. People can acknowledge that the Beatles are the greatest. Like there's just not a question.
Like they're the greatest, and I've also heard by Beatles haters that they don't like the Beatles because there's other better music out there now. And I'm like, that's like a whole different story.
People don't realize that the Beatles are responsible for like the music industry today.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so like
their influence.
Comparing it to like something manufactured with newer technology today,
which by the way,
like,
I don't
astounding.
like. I actually prefer the fact that all the like Beatles, Fleetwood Mac, like they all played live. It just gives the song a different quality.
It's like just like recording equipment was different too, and I'm gonna sound like so I need to be different right now, but I prefer older music. I prefer that like grainy, like you
Maya,
listen to it.
I think we just became best friends.
I think we did. I think the hand hug that. I think when this is being edited, I think like the picture of the hand hug needs to be shown again.
Yeah, we had a really sweet hand hug before this.
Oh, it's going in the video.
Oh,
it's going
great.
in the video.
Okay, I
I'm
hope
just
it
not
does.
sure where.
Put it at the end.
Put it at the end and like credits roll.
Yeah.
Credits. Okay, and so back to pop culture questions because that's what we're all about here.
Of course.
And you're on our soil, so you have to do it our way.
I know.
So
I made the trek over from next door.
We could have did the interview in knocking, like
I know.
Morse code knocking.
We share a wall, guys.
We do share a wall. We don't really necessarily hear what's going on the other side of the wall, but we could if we wanted to.
Our information is top secret, Maya.
I can take a cup up to the wall and be like, hey,
Talking about OU administration. Let's listen in.
I mean, we also do, working here, we do have our lovely, lovely music director, Chelsea, who also is at the Post, which also means that people who want to participate in both the Post and the radio are able to do that because we're not about limiting people's creative expression.
We highly encourage people to get involved in as many student organizations as possible.
Yeah,
We want people to have the full experience. I'm not going to say, like, I said, just don't share any classified information with WXOU and you're good, Chelsea.
But part of the reason why these student organizations exist is to help further people's creative outputs in that way and giving them the resources to express themselves.
Yeah, and just expand on, if they have talents in multiple disciplines, like we want to, you always want to encourage people to
try as many
new things as they can and try and cultivate as many skills as they can.
Because who knows what you're good at? Because when you first enter college, you have a set mindset about things, and the goal is to expand and learn new things, learn new hobbies, and all that kind of jazz. And so who knows, you might be really good at reporting and you also might have a radio show and you would never think to connect those all the way.
Right. College is about finding, everybody knows the cliche of like, it's about discovering who you are.
And experimenting.
And, we don't want to limit that.
Yeah.
Because at what other point in your life are you going to get a chance to work at a radio station, work at a newspaper?
Unless you're going into that, but
well, yes, but
like in general. See, I'm an art major, and so I'm a Studio K-12 major, and so the fact that I'm able to do this right now, even though it's not something that I was going to pursue, sometimes I think about it. I go, hey, this could be something viable that I can do in the future if I really put my mind to it. But experimenting allows you to find new loves for things and new skills and building on those skills, and I'm very for it.
I'm also very for it.
Wait, can we both
I know.
Okay, that's cool. Okay. Okay. Back to fun little pop culture questions.
Bring them on.
Okay. Are you Team Edward or are you Team Jacob, and why?
Okay. Team Edward till the end of time. Jacob was so persistent. Okay, I understand there's some red flags with Edward. He's 200 years old. Okay, that's quite an age difference.
That's very, yeah.
I get it. However, Bella did not want to be pursued by Jacob, and he just didn't take no for an answer. And in this day and age, when a woman's actually no, not in this day and age. Whenever a woman says no, this is a timeless rule to follow. No means no.
No means no, and he kept persisting. And then when Bella was taken off the market, he went for her daughter.
That is the worst part about the whole thing. I was such a twihard, and
no, me too.
It was my life. There was an altar of Robert Pattinson in my home. I just had so much. I looked at his face so frequently on my bedroom walls, and then I read Breaking Dawn, and I said, "What is this?
What is going on?
What's going on? Why is Jacob in love with the fetus?
This. Can we stop?" And then how the child grows up, and then they get married or something, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, and I read the books first, and then I watched the movie, and I was horrified by the CGI that the baby was, because it was like an adult face shrunk down, and I was like, hello,
wrong.
What is
it was
this?
Wrong. To go after the mom and the daughter is really, it's another level of messed up. Oh, that is nasty. Stephanie Meyer needs to stop. Stephanie Meyer, I don't know what you were thinking, girl. You had the first three.
There could have been so many. You know what I would have liked a lot is if one of the high school girls got with Jacob and being like, oh, I discovered something that wasn't there, kind of deal.
I just Team Edward.
Team Edward. I'm Team Edward too, and
It's the right answer. It's the right answer.
It is. And if anyone's Team Jacob, they're just not correct.
It's like what we were saying about the Beatles. It's people just trying to be different.
People just trying to be like, he's not who ended up with Bella, and and he's not the one that's like obviously gonna end up with Bella. So I
want to poll on how many people were Team Jacob simply because of his like 6-pack at the time. Like how much of a draw was that 6-pack?
Or the draw was the main argument that Team Jacob people have is but Edward left Bella. So, like, abandonment and,
I mean, he did, and then he returned, and he was still persistent.
But, like, he left to save her.
Yeah, he did. He definitely did. She took that a bit hard, though.
She did.
She really sat in front of that window for months.
I understand being sad and sitting down in front of a window. But for 3 months,
this girl was screaming bloody murder in the middle of the night.
She'd wake up and she's like...
Her dad was like terrified out of his mind.
I rescind being Team Edward or Team Jacob. I'm Team Charlie.
Yeah.
Everybody, Team Charlie.
That's something we all can agree on. That man.
That poor
man.
Father. He just can't catch a break. No. His wife left him and then took their daughter.
His daughter runs off with a 200-year-old vampire and then is screaming.
He's just sitting there and he's like... I genuinely, and I'm going to put this on the books, I do think that OU should have a Twilight Club where we discuss things. Oh, my God. I would also like to bring attention to ceiling connoisseurs, where ceilings are debated and discussed.
Ceilings?
Ceiling connoisseurs, yeah.
I've never heard of a ceiling connoisseur.
Yeah, it's, what Logan, our general manager, is like... on the board on the council, and so I think it's a really fun club. Okay. If any of you have the opportunity to join, I'd join, especially if you're passionate about ceilings. Okay.
I didn't know that there were so many people who are this is
I'm a part of it, and I love ceilings.
You are actually breaking news to me right now.
Breaking news. There is a ceiling club. But anyway, okay. Next question. Because Twilight's amazing. And we took so long on it. Do you believe in horoscopes?
I'm veering on no. And
okay. Tell me why.
Okay, because I will admit when I read it, like, I'm like scared to publicly reveal this, but I'm a Gemini. See, the face you just made, that's
I'm a Leo.
No, but no one gets a worse rap than the Geminis, and you know this.
I know. My grandma's a Gemini, and I love my grandma, so, I understand
it's always that. It's like, people say they're a Gemini, and they'll be like, oh, Gemini, but, like, I love you. It's always that. That's why I'm like, when people ask me, I don't want to say it, because I know the rap Geminis get. And sometimes I read the little horoscopes, and there's some things that are like true. They say Geminis are very, I don't know, outgoing and stuff. But that's a very general assessment.
I do think so too. I think that horoscopes are just vague enough to be true.
Yes, that's where I am on it.
Like Aries, today they will breathe. Tomorrow, Aries will sleep.
Tomorrow, a Capricorn will fall in love.
Yeah, like exactly. It's like, come on.
Yeah, there's no real science to it. I really find that hard to believe. I mean, but then people will sometimes, I've had people break it down to me, and I'm like, yeah, no, that does sound like me for sure.
No, I've like, when I tell people I'm a Leo, I'm an August baby. Mm-hmm. They're like, you're such a Leo. And I'm like, well, Leos also kind of get a bad rap of being like super vain and super selfish, and I'm like, thanks. Like, I don't.
Again, you're still not roughing it in the way Geminis are.
Yeah,
well, I say Gemini, and people physically have a physical reaction. Correct.
Ugh.
It's a full body reaction. Like you're like they're almost throwing up.
Yeah, they're like. There's people outside.
I know.
Okay. I think that WXOU and the Post should like sit down and just have like a hash of pop culture stuff and just like a discussion.
We have an art section that is very, I mean, as you know, Chelsea obviously works for our art section, but we have, we We would love to have them come hang with you guys.
Well, because sometimes when I'm describing the difference between like WXOU News and like the Post,
yes,
I kind of talk about how like the WXOU News is like more like pop culture-y in a way. Like we do like film, like I know you guys do film reviews, and like we overlap a lot. We overlap. It's definitely
our
an
art
overlap.
section does overlap, but we also have several other sections. Campus features, politics, sports.
Yeah. Campus features, politics, and sports. Remember.
I mean, and arts, but
yeah. But
we have there's a lot more coverage of some maybe different areas that WXOU
that we do not cover. No. We tend to look at the community surrounding a lot more too. We do a local business feature, which I think is really interesting.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I sit down and do like interviews with business owners, and we talk about, and we sometimes we'll discuss certain deals that will be affected by like OU students. Like sometimes they'll do like a discount or like something like that, and so
yeah, that's really interesting.
That's how I see it different. Like not like different, but like I think that they blend together sometimes, and I feel like that's also really nice.
Yeah,
but sometimes I try to. Because I don't want to sound like repetitive, you know how you guys like you guys will say something, I'll read it, I'll go, okay, well I will make sure to touch on something else that's like not
right,
so I can add to it. Yes, and so I can add to it too, and I think that's very important too.
Yeah, I agree.
Woohoo!
Collaboration,
friendship. Okay. Those are all the questions I have for you today.
Thanks
do you
for
have
having me.
Of course. And do you have anything that you want to say to the people that are still watching right now? Yes,
I have a few things. We have a very exciting special edition of our paper coming out next week. It's themed sort of it's a blast from the past theme. So we're talking about some of like OU's history, some notable alumni, notable events that happened on campus. We've been going through our archives this week, and we found some really interesting stuff that Oprah Winfrey came to speak here at one point. Gloria Steinem came to speak here at one point. And we'll be discussing all of that in our edition next week. And we're also going to be incorporating some old articles that were published kind of from the various, decades that we've been in operation. We found a really cool one that was like, what will OU be like in 50 years?
And when was it published?
1969, I think.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
So it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really bad at math.
No, just a little over, but I'm worse at math, trust me. But just a little over 50 years since that piece came out. And I'm really excited for people to read that one.
No, I'm really, really excited to read that.
Yeah, it's going to be a great addition, and we're going to be incorporating a lot of design ideas from our old issues, and it's a great project that we've been putting together and will be out before kind of the Thanksgiving break.
And is it to mark an anniversary of some sort, or
no, just
for funsies?
I'm a history nut, so my I guess my vision as editor-in-chief is I want to do, our last editor, she was a pre-med major, and we did a health issue, so my
so your
contribution,
gift.
My little special contribution is I wanted to do sort of a history-related edition of the Post. Yeah,
that's so nice.
So I'm most excited for that one.
All right.
And it'll be great. So that'll be on stands on Wednesday.
Wednesday, what day?
November 15th. It will be on newsstands everywhere around campus, and all the articles will also be published online as well. Anything else you want to say? Thank you for having me. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for being here. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm glad that the Post and WXOU are getting a little closer this year. Yeah. We're gonna take strides. We're gonna make sure that another one of your legacies is to make sure that the Post and the radio just have a good relationship and get closer, because I think it's been a long time coming, and I think that would be really, really, really special to have that. Yeah, I agree. We're making it happen. Alrighty. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks. Yeah, of course. Okay. Toodaloo. Bye. Maya, I think we are going to be best friends. Can we hand hug? Yeah. Hand hug. Nice.